Okay, if you watched the past VOD, you already see watched the sketch process. I did some changes in the final pose before inking. So this time I will talk over the time lapse and maybe offer some information about the process. So you can see here I'm inking. Let me show you just some idea on the inking process because it's very straightforward, to be honest. Here's an object, example object I always use, bomb. So the inking process, I use this brush. It's just a round brush with a little of paint pressure and some option to give me this thinner line in the end. The idea here for this brush is mostly to emulate the flash, Macromedia flash look, very bold brush strokes. So for the inking process, in my mind, I just have this idea. I don't edit in real time. What I mean by that? When I inking my drawings lately, I prefer to finish the drawing even when I know something can be improved in the drawing, in the inking stage. It was very common to me when I was inking to be more like that. Oh, let's see, I will push this curve a bit more here, this a bit more here, oh no, these are here, oh, I can think this, I can put a detail here, I can even add the cross contours of this piece of cloth, I can put this. So there's a lot of thinking and editing in real time that I think is super valid, super useful if you have a weak sketch or just a quick sketch. But when you have a very defined sketch, it's a problem to edit in real time because you always changing the drawing. So my idea lately is most like, okay, I need to finish, considering I'm happy with the sketch, of course. I'm just inking. I avoid to put new details or change something drastic in the design. If something is really off, of course, I will change it. And remember, it's not about not using the eraser or not using the Ctrl-Z. It's more about going straight forward to the drawing process. So let's say I finish the inking. Then I reduce the opacity of the sketch, and on this point I start editing if I feel to. So if I need, okay, this line don't need to be completed like that, it can be like this, maybe this can be just the indication of the whole, maybe this also don't need to be the full contour. This mindset, the idea here is more like a mindset. It's working a bit better to me nowadays because I can separate the, let's say, labor process of inking and the editing process of fixing the drawing. And I try to carry on this mindset to almost every part of the art creation process. So back to the drawing, you will see I'm drawing super fast only because of that, of this mindset. I'm trying to be really faithful to the sketch. I know the sketch has a lot of problems, but I decided to keep going, and then I will. Here I explained it to Fox on the stream. He asked about the process. I'm cleaning the lines, I'm fixing the shapes like the tail. I was thinking it was not volumetric enough. For the shading process, it's a bit different too. Mostly because I'm a bit tired. I'm drawing digitally since 2015 maybe, but I'm a bit tired of the digital drawing process. It's a bit tedious, so I'm always experimenting in new ways, always trying to keep my original style, which is a bit cartoony in cel shading, but doing this in different ways to keep me motivated. So let me pause again, and I will use this sketch to give you an example of the inking of the coloring process. Is instead of starting with the local colors, what I mean by starting with the local colors, let's say I want this bomb to be blue, dark blue, and I wanted this part to have this shade, this color for the, I don't know the name of this in English, and I wanted a red X. Let's imagine a red X in this bomb. When I do this, in my head, the art is done. I already can see the colors, the shapes, and the line work. But anyway, so my idea to develop this different workflow is, instead of working the flat colors, the base colors first, I work on the shade, on the shadow shapes first, something like this. And then I fill the local colors. It's just reordering the process. The benefits of this process, first, to me, it's the novelty of the process. To the fact I have more time seeing the image being developed, and also when I started with the shadow shapes, I can play a bit more with the shapes. Maybe I can do the shadow shapes like this. Why not? Why not? I can do something like this. I can play with different positions for the light and shadow, but mostly I'm concerned about these shapes when I'm shading. I have more time to consider the different options. Right? I can do something like this, very stylized shadow shapes. Why not? That's the playful part of this process. Why not? Why it can be like that? That's the reason. I wanted to break the rules. So the next steps, as you can see here, let me rewind just a bit. You can see I'm filling the color shapes, the shade, the shadow shapes first, and suddenly you will start to see the white shapes here. See, you start to see the drawing appearing like a magic, being colored. It's very cool. I really enjoy this process. But another cool thing about this project, about this method, is I can play around a bit more with the colors. Why not the light colors can be like this for the bomb metal, but let's say, why not about this? You know? So starting with the shadow shapes and then the light, I can play a bit more with the colors too. It's not a physical based render, so I can play a lot with the colors, just changing the mindset. And that's most about it on this process. I'm coloring the lines. I'm not sure the technical terms for this, but it's a very common technique in pixel art where you color the lines to reduce the contrast. And in my case, I really enjoy it's a middle term between full render and cel shading. So coloring the lines in Clip Studio, you can do it in many ways. I just created a layer up over the line work layer and use the clipping mask on it, and also reduce to 15% maybe, and I pick the local color and paint it, and that's about it. Later I can tweak this color, make it a bit more saturated, for example, but after years of these trying methods, I think this is the easiest and quickest one. It's just practical. Okay? So, and this finishes this part of the process. And I hope you like it. I hope you find some useful, and I hope you can understand my English. Okay, see ya. That's it. I forgot my outro line.